right, welcome back to the latest episode of this podcast that we're doing. I'm Zach, joined by the continually amazing Sophia. How are you doing, Sophia?
I'm doing fine. What is it that makes me amazing, and what have I done to uphold my status?
I guess just being here, right?
I work very hard. I work very hard for that.
To just be here and exist. So, what games have you been playing this week?
Been playing a little bit of ukulele. Been trying to speed through that, and then I stopped, so I need to get back to it.
Yeah, I need to as well. I lost a little momentum in the Casino.
Yeah. I've been playing. Oh gosh, there's actually a couple things. I started playing a couple of new games, new to me.
Okay.
I started playing Mario and Rabbids, the first one, because the new one isn't out yet, and I really like it. It's surprisingly good. I feel it has no reason being as good as it is.
Right?
I think probably when I'm done with that, I'm gonna. I bought XCOM Chimera Squad on Steam a few months ago, and I kind of started it but didn't really play much of it. I think I'm probably going to play that next.
That's cool.
This seems like a really good entry game into those kinds of games.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of people comparing it to XCOM, so I'm assuming it's pretty similar. Although not as charming, I'm sure.
I don't know. I've heard it's got its charm. I know Chimera Squad has more of a I guess story about the team specifically. It's not just nameless grunts.
Gotcha.
You actually grow attached to these characters or something. I don't know. I haven't actually played it, so I can't really make a verdict on it.
Gotcha.
All I'm saying is that I'm probably going to play that next.
Is there permadeath in it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know if I played that far. I really didn't make it very far into the prologue.
Okay. So here's a quick question for you.
Sure.
So what's what hooked you about Mario plus Rabbids that Fire Emblem didn't? Just curious, because they're both grid-based strategy, RPG-esque games.
It feels like there's a lot of freedom in how you move around. The way that you can bounce off of enemies, you can dash into enemies as an extra attack. You can vault off of enemies to get extra movement, or vault off of allies to get extra movement. All the different types of weapons you can equip, that's fun. It's also just tonally more my style. I like really goofy, silly things, and I feel like Rabbids and Mario, for as unlikely a pairing as that is, works really, really well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's kind of a combination of all of those things that just really click for me. I really am I don't care very much about Chrom Final Fantasy and his big sword. But okay. I do very much care about Rabbid Peach. So, I'm really enjoying it. It's very silly and very fun.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Speaking of, segue into E3, I guess we can start with talking about Ubisoft's press conference.
Sure.
Did you watch it?
I haven't actually watched it. No, I haven't done my due diligence. I actually found this great website. It's called E3 Recap. And basically it does a really good job of just aggregating all of the big news in a really digestible these are the things. These are the thumbnails for all the stuff that was announced. Makes it a lot easier to keep track of everything. So I probably didn't think much of it because I glanced over everything there and I don't remember really seeing anything that stuck out to me other than the new Mario Rabbids game.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there that we didn't know about. But they did show that Avatar game, so
Hold on. I think these purpley ones. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We got For Honor, Trackmania, Brawlhalla. Hasn't that already? Oh no, that's Teenage Mutant Ninja coming to Brawlhalla.
right.
Crew 2, Watch Dogs Legion, Rainbow Six Extraction, Rocksmith Plus, Riders Republic, Rainbow Six, Siege, Tom Clancy, Just Dance. Of course, it wouldn't be E3 without Just Dance.
But there weren't any live action awkward dancing segments though.
Yeah, since they've started pre-recording and live streaming everything, they discovered they don't actually have to do that to still have a garbage a garbage E3.
Yeah.
Far Cry 6, Mario plus Rabbids, and Avatar videos game.
I think you forgot
And-
to say a Ubisoft original after every single title.
I did. It was just silent.
Did you see they start doing that now?
I must have missed it because, like, like I said, the only thing of this that I've actually bothered to watch the trailer for is the Mario.
Oh, okay. Which is
Mario
the only one that doesn't have it.
Of course.
Because that's, I'm guessing, because of the Nintendo crossover. But yeah, so
Yeah.
every game
I was
title now
surprised
has. Oh, sorry.
I was surprised actually that we didn't really hear much. Like Nintendo did mention it during their direct, but it was just kind of a truncated announcement in the middle of everything else. Like this is something else that's happening. Like here's the 30-second
Right.
teaser trailer.
Yeah, and that was probably my second favorite game that got announced at the C3. I think you can probably guess what my number one is, but yeah, so Ubisoft started putting a Ubisoft original after every single title in every logo. And it's really not a big thing, but for whatever reason, it really bugs me. Because it doesn't need to be there. Like, the only people who do that are like Netflix, Amazon, or whatever. But they have streaming services with, other people's content on there. So they're denoting that that's their own content exclusive to that streaming service. But these are just games. Like, of course it's a Ubisoft
what is
game.
it that what kind of pedigree is Ubisoft bringing to the table that it's like that they wear this as a badge of honor?
Right. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And again, it shouldn't bother me as much as it does, but anyways, the best game they announced there was the one that didn't have a Ubisoft original, so I don't know what that says about their games. Yeah, that was pretty much Ubisoft's thing. There wasn't a whole lot. Their big thing at the end was the Avatar game reveal, which, I mean, it looks like a fancy-looking Avatar game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my girlfriend's interested in it, so I'm probably gonna try it out, and I'm sure that we'll let you know.
Okay.
You know how it is. I don't know. Just like looking at the thumbnails for these, Trackmania. That's the one where you like build racetracks and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool
Like you can
series.
do all kinds of crazy stuff. So that could be pretty fun. I'm sure.
I think that's just an expansion, though, because that game's already out.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about the new Far Cry. I'm sure that I'm sure that it will pretend like it has something to say, but not say very much, or say the wrong thing. So, just kind of gonna wait for the press release on that.
Gotcha. So, any other thoughts on Ubisoft?
I don't know. They're the purple one. Well, that's about all I got.
Yeah, then I actually watched the Gearbox presentation, which I shouldn't have. It was pathetic. I believe that one was
So what did
after the
Gearbox-
Xbox presentation.
What did they bring?
So they showed the same trailer they showed during the Xbox presentation for Wonderlands, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And then they just, like,
Oh,
the
is
rest
this-
of the
is this
conference
them?
was just...
Godfall, Tribes of Midgard, Homeworld 3, and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Is that the Gearbox?
Yeah, basically the rest of the press conference was Randy Pitchford going around the set of the Borderlands movie and just talking.
He hasn't been fired yet?
I feel like he doesn't realize the reputation he has online.
Or maybe he does and he knows that he can just get away with it.
Maybe. But yeah, it was just like...
Which is scarier.
it really is, but yeah, that was their entire thing. It was like they didn't show anything for the movie. Like they showed one prop, I think. But it's like nobody came to your E3 conference to watch information. First off, to watch Randy Pitchford say anything, but second, to watch him say anything about a movie that, like, based on the game. Yeah, so you didn't miss anything there if you didn't watch it.
That's good.
I thought
Looks like-
Xbox's conference was pretty good, though.
Yeah. It looks like there was actually a lot of VR stuff, because like this whole like next block of stuff on E3 recap it has like these different tags like exclusive or VR or DLC, or if it's just like an update. So like there's a whole block of stuff here that's like VR experience. There's a new Sam and Max game coming out. Larcenauts. It looks like a space alien type game. Waltz of the Wizards.
Huh.
Pistol Whip. I Expect You to Die 2. The sequel to the hit sequel to I Expect You to Die 1. I assume. Yeah, just lots of neat stuff. We just ordered an Oculus Quest. We're still waiting for it to get here.
Oh, that's cool.
We're excited to try out a bunch of stuff like this.
Do you think it'll be better than Labo VR?
Probably. Assuredly.
I had you try that, right?
Yeah, I actually kind of liked it.
Not the Smash Bros. Or Zelda, right?
No, like the actual Labo.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Labo games themselves are pretty fun, but...
Well, let's get into the meat of it then. Let's talk about Xbox.
So did you actually watch the presentation?
Yeah, we kind of I think like we kind of skipped through a couple of things, but we mostly watched through all of it. So pretty cool stuff. Obviously, the highlight being the teaser trailer for Starfield, which also got us a release date. What do you think about Starfield? I guess we don't know much right now. They did have like an interview with Todd after the fact, and there was like a little more information, but like,
Right.
what's your take?
So I guess you'd be the better person to ask about this, because the only Bethesda game I've played is Skyrim, and I didn't even play it for that long.
Okay, so I've got great news for you, because in the article, in the interview, one of the things that Todd said was like it's like Skyrim, but in space.
I did see that, yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's hard to judge something before you have like even any gameplay to judge
Right.
it off of. But
Got
just
that
like
sweet,
going
sweet
the way
in-engine
that
footage.
he was talking about it in the interview, it sounds pretty special. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. I don't know. I feel like I'm having a hard time thinking of like how to say what I feel about this. I think like I'm really excited for it, but I'm also just kind of like we'll wait and see sort of thing. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be good, but I have no way of proving that. So I'm just excited as anyone to see what it's about.
Right. Yeah, the space travel thing has me excited. I'm always kind of obsessed with like space games where you can get in and out of ships and fly to other planets. Like, so yeah, I'm definitely
also,
more interested in the premise.
Creation Engine 2.
Yeah. This time with
So
ladders, or not.
they fixed it, or they've updated it, or maybe they just built more scaffolding around it.
Did you see they still haven't confirmed ladders?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, he was asked specifically about that because in the trailer, the main character is like climbing up to get to the cockpit, and they were like, "Oh, so that means that climbing up ladders is confirmed." And he's like, well, maybe don't read too much into that." So it might still be like a black screen that then you appear at the top.
Listen. It's a cinematic trailer. Don't put too much stock into it. That's funny. Yeah, I've never really like consciously paid attention to that, but now that I think about it, there aren't any climbable ladders in any of their games.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that either, but it's like, yeah, I guess I don't remember.
They're always just like exits to another room.
Right. Yeah, it's still kind of funny to me that there were so many people like shocked that this is an Xbox exclusive. Like, I'm not sure why they would have paid that much money to not have it be.
I don't know. Is it like a forever exclusive, or do you think it's gonna come to other consoles?
Oh, it's not coming to PlayStation. They basically said that much.
Ah, okay. Well, that pretty much cements that we're gonna have to get an Xbox.
Or just get a really beefy gaming PC. Which is not easy to do these days. Of course, neither is getting a new console, so.
Yeah. Let's see. What else is there? Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. I've heard those are really good games. I've never played one. I'd be interested in trying it. I've heard that it's like a very, very gritty survival game. Like open world survival. Other than that, I don't know anything about it.
I don't either.
Contraband seems interesting. It caught my eye because like the title font is similar to the font that is used in Control, which is a game that I really like.
I don't think they have much in common, though.
Yeah. Maybe not. I guess we'll see. Didn't really get an idea of what kind of game it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's like another one of those really
seems
far
like a
out
treasure hunting
exclusive
kind of game.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's like a live service treasure hunting. Like, kind of not exactly GTA Online, but something like a heist based. Which the live service thing kind of turned me off a bit because I just feel like there are way too many of these.
Yeah.
Although that said, I am actually pretty excited for the new Sea of Thieves expansion.
Yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, they're actually adding a story, which is cool.
Oh wow.
Only what is it, like 3-4 years later?
Listen, there's something to be said, and maybe I think that there should be more games like this that have like that give you the tools to like make your own stories. You know, that's kind of what Fallout 76 was when it first came out. Like the whole thing was it was supposed to be about emergent gameplay, people making their own moments. But yeah, you know, it was set you up in a world to like have moments with other players and like make interesting stories happen. And people complained because it wasn't a mainline Fallout game. It wasn't the type of game that they expected, even though they had repeatedly said like this is different from anything that we've ever done before. So I feel like Sea of Thieves kind of was like that. So like I don't like, while it's cool to have like a story, I feel like there is lots of room for immersive experiences that don't have a story.
Right. Yeah, I do see your point. Both of those games also though launched with like no content, so like you do need some structure to actually have a game to play. And Sea of Thieves was basically at launch like, here's a boat, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So like It's a whole
Yeah.
lot better now, and they have things like the tall tales and whatever. And my friends and I have had a lot of fun playing that. But yeah, I think it's cool just that they're adding something new to experience. You know,
Yeah. More meat on the bone.
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and also I say all of that just like admittedly from like an outsider's opinion, because like I was not part of the original player group when these games first came out. So like this is just kind of an outside looking in sort of opinion. You know, maybe I would think differently if I had been there myself. But I wasn't.
Right. I mean, from what I've heard, the launch of Fallout 76 was significantly worse than Sea of Thieves. Not just because it had like no content, but it also was super buggy. Like I just remember Jim Sterling making a video like every single week about how like some new issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, what is that game called? Contraband.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it launches with at least a good amount of content. I'm kind of getting sick of these games with roadmaps.
Yeah.
But I mean, Avalanche is a good developer, so I don't want to put too much faith in them, but fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. Psychonauts 2.
Very excited. I'm sure you
Very
are.
excited. Yeah. It looks really, really good. I remember last podcast we were talking, and I kept going on about how good like the art style holds up, and I forgot how well it holds up, because like oh my gosh, it looks amazing.
Right?
Like I wish there were more games that looked like this.
And you see what I mean now too, right? Like it's not just the art style; it's like technically super impressive.
Yeah.
It's a really great combination of the two.
Let's see what else. Fallout 76 is getting some DLC.
Yeah, they're getting what are those expeditions or something?
Yeah.
So I guess we don't know the scope of that, but I'm assuming that's like I don't know if it's going to be like going to a separate open map or if it's more of like a linear mission off of. I don't know, you might have more insight on this.
I'm not sure. I've only played like a little bit of it, so it's hard for me to say. But I'm excited, especially because I'm just getting into it. To have like cool new stuff to do. I think that's gonna be pretty fun. Halo Infinite, two things. They showed a little bit of I think I don't actually remember, because like I only saw a bit of the trailer personally. But they're doing like there's like the main campaign, which is its own separate thing, but they're also having like free to play multiplayer,
Right.
which could be fun. I think I'm willing to give that a try.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as the monetization isn't too bad, I'll definitely be interested. I mean, there's nothing quite like the kind of almost janky physics of Halo. Almost like predictably janky.
Charmingly janky. So yeah, I think that looks cool. I feel bad because I feel like I'm just kind of like listing off stuff, and I don't know, don't really have much to say about it.
Well, here's a game I'm sure you will.
Kind of hitting
Forza
the
Horizon
highlights.
5?
Okay, so you say that, but I've really been craving for an open world racing game, or just not necessarily racing, but like an open world driving game. Just I want a game where I can get into a car and just explore, just go somewhere.
So you're
Just
being
drive
serious,
down a
right?
highway. Yeah, like
Okay.
completely serious.
Okay. Because I mean, I enjoy those games, but I assumed you were not into that.
No, I've wanted something like that for a while. I just didn't know like what game does that.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I know there are some, but I just don't know what they are. And so like I see stuff like this, or like the one where you can turn your car into a hover plane or whatever. And I'm like, that's the game that I want to play.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. Microsoft Flight Simulator, getting some new planes. Top Gun DLC, that's pretty fun. Getting some retro biplanes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I've kind of been waiting because like I have a decent gaming computer, but I can't imagine it would run that game well. So
Yeah. I don't know. Like that's another one that I think I love that something like Flight Simulator exists. I want something like that, but like car simulator. I want to drive like if they could take the map from Flight Simulator and like make it so that you can drive a car. That would be so cool. I guess that would just be BeamNG.
probably.
But you know, I would be down for that. At some point I do want to get Flight Simulator just because it looks like it looks
Yeah.
really relaxing. I would love to just like put on a podcast and just fly around wherever.
Yeah, it looks like a really fun chill game.
Yeah. Yeah. Slime Rancher 2.
So I mean, the fact that there's slime in it makes me think you'd be interested.
I know. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, I was like, I haven't played the first one, and that was just kind of like, oh, whatever announcement. But I feel like that might have more impact for you.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty chill game.
What do you do in it?
You inherit a farm, on the far ranch, as a there. I think there is a story, but it's not really like the most important part of the game. Basically, you build like these little corrals, and you travel around the far ranch, finding all these different types of slimes. You bring them back to your farm. You feed them. You harvest the gems that they make, and you build stuff. And it's just like a little simulation type dealy. It's really cute, really fun.
That's cool.
It's got good music and cute slimes. What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for out of any video game, really? I'm trying to think what else they announced. I don't particularly care about Age of Empires 4. I have a friend who I know is going to be excited, but
It looked like a mobile game. That's all I could think of is like this looks like those fake mobile games that you always get ads for, you know?
no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's. I mean, I didn't really want to be too harsh on it, but yeah, the visuals are not very impressive. I could have sworn the last one looked better than this, but maybe not.
Well, maybe they'll make it better.
I mean, it's coming out pretty soon, so.
Well,
Not holding my breath on
I guess
that
we'll
one.
see. Outer Worlds 2.
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
a very, very tongue-in-cheek trailer for that one.
Have you played the first one? I can't remember if I've
I
asked.
played
you
a
that.
little bit of it. I'm not sure. I didn't play enough to really have an opinion on it. But I've seen like Germa play it, and the impression I get is that it's like Nothing you do really matters because you can just do everything.
Hmm. So it's like a
Like
Ubisoft
this,
game.
it's supposed to be like a because it's made by Obsidian. It's supposed, everybody was like, oh, it's gonna be good like New Vegas.
Yeah.
And like in that one, like your choices matter, and in this one you can literally like you in New Vegas you pretty much like only ever have like option A or option B. But in Outer Worlds you have option C, which is please everybody.
Huh. That doesn't sound like a very
So
RPG thing to do.
yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't be. Maybe the first one was good. I haven't played it, so I can't say. That's just like again,
It got
a lot of
nominated
this stuff
for
I
a
only
Game
have
of
an
the Year.
outside opinion.
Yeah. So I mean, I know it did well critically, but
Sorry. Well, welcome back.
I'm getting pretty good at exiting and then rejoining quickly. Yeah, so I guess that's just another one to add to the pile of like massive first party RPGs that Xbox is just like hoarding.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, once these start coming out, there's going to be a ton of RPGs. Like I know
Yeah.
In Exile's working on some big new, I think cyberpunk related RPG. Maybe they do it right this time. Did you finally see the trailer for Avowed?
Um, I don't remember if I did or not.
Okay. I mean, they didn't show it at the C3, but I think it was in one of the sizzle reels.
Okay.
Was there
No,
anything
I
else?
must have missed that. Redfall. That looks
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
It's got like vampires and like like cyber psychic powers and stuff. Seems like fun. I don't really know what to make of it. There was no gameplay. It was all cinematic. So
Right.
um,
Yeah.
that's the one that they ended on. So I guess it was supposed to be the biggest thing. I would have thought that Starfield would have been the one they end on.
Yeah. I feel like Starfield or Halo Infinite or something would have been like the bookends. But
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Redfall will come to be the biggest new one, the biggest new hot game.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected Arcane to show anything, given that they still haven't released Deathloop. But I guess they're big enough to have two teams.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't show anything for Deathloop because they've been promoting it a lot, like leading up to E3, and they didn't have anything to say about it during E3.
Yeah. I mean, again, it wouldn't have been at Xbox's show because it's a PlayStation timed exclusive. But
Can we skip over the Square?
sure.
Because I didn't watch it and I heard it was bad.
It wasn't as bad as I feel people made it out to be, but it definitely wasn't good. I don't feel like
I'm looking over it and it's just like I don't care about any of this. There's a lot of Marvel. I don't know. It just seems
Yeah,
kind
it's
of ho hum.
I kind of feel like Square Enix has never had a good E3, so my expectations are always low for them. And this one definitely fit my expectations. So
Oh, I see Hello Neighbor 2. Hopefully they made it a functional game this time.
I haven't played the first one. Is it really broken?
I tried playing it and it just controls so weird. Like it's got the jankiest physics and like the big deal about it is that like you have this AI that learns. It's basically Alien Isolation, but like skinned
But Mr. Wilson.
like a creepy neighbor. Yeah, yeah. But it's just so goofy and janky and weird.
Huh.
I didn't like it at all. It felt really bad.
Okay. Yeah, so we can skip Square and move straight on to the one that I think we all want to talk about. That would be Nintendo.
Let's talk about Nintendo. Let's see. Hold on, there's like some indie stuff. Capcom did like
They
nothing.
Yeah, they had a presentation where they showed absolutely nothing. It was like a long gameplay feature on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is like, I mean, I'm excited for those games, but who wants to watch gameplay footage of a visual novel? It was like, and then they had like the producer of Resident Evil Village come out and be like, "Thank you guys for buying our game. We're gonna make DLC for it. Bye." It's like, okay, cool. I would have been shocked if they didn't make DLC for it. And then it just kind of wrapped up with esports.
Wild.
So I'm not sure why they were even there. They showed some Monster Hunter stuff, but it was the same stuff we'd seen like a couple weeks ago at their Monster Hunter presentation. So as like a fan of every series that they showed, I couldn't have cared less. So I think that's a big fail right there.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. Like I'm just looking at it, I'm like, cool, Ace Attorney, wow, Monster Hunter. Well, I guess Resident Evil Village got an update.
No.
But it doesn't show anything about that.
No, it's really just that they're going to be doing DLC. It was just like a white page with black text, like, we're doing DLC.
Oh, cool.
But we don't have anything
Wow.
to show right now. It's like, okay. Why were you here?
Check back later.
Yeah, so Nintendo. They announced a few
Let's talk
things.
about this Nintendo. I want to say Whiplash is a pretty good way of describing Nintendo's E3 presentation, because the tonal shift between like everything that they announce is so good.
Yeah.
So they come out the gate. You see like Ocarina of Time Ganon being carried like towards this volcano, and you're like, oh gosh, it's Breath of the Wild too. They're coming with it right out of the gate, and it's not. It's what's his name? Freaking Coyote.
Kyogre.
Oh gosh, what's his name?
I don't remember. He's the Tekken
Kyoza.
guy.
Yeah, it's Tekken. Tekken comes to Smash.
It's him. It's Tekken. In the flesh.
He's here.
Oh.
He's here finally. He does drop Ganon into a volcano, so that's fun. He also drops Captain Falcon, which cements F-Zero as a officially dead franchise.
It has no mascot anymore, so canonically he's been killed off now.
When what are they gonna do?
Maybe that's going to be their excuse now for why they don't make a new one.
I don't know. I think this is pretty cool. I feel like this is a really good pick for Smash Brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know very little about a lot of fighting games, but the impression I get is that like while he's not like he's as much of like the mascot of the series as like Pikachu is, where he's like not officially, it's just that like people like make him that way. He doesn't seem like he's like the de facto mascot, but it's like everybody's like that's the face of the series.
Right.
I think that's really cool. That Smash Brothers is a celebration of video games and fighting games in general. I think having Tekken in it, Mr. Tekken, is pretty cool. He goes like he does like a beast mode. I forget what his final smash is because I've never played a Tekken. He does try to throw Kirby into the volcano, but Kirby flies away, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, he still has a future.
I am not upset about this edition. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I personally I didn't understand all the hate that he was getting online. Maybe it's just because there's only 2 slots left, but
It should have been Kuma, the bear.
oh, that's right. Yeah,
The bears. So that was pretty cool. What did I feel like these are like out of order. These must be out of order.
I mean,
So we go from that.
we had like
I'm
Mario
looking at
Party.
E3. Yeah, that seems really interesting. Mario Party Superstars. So this looks like like Mario Party. What was it like?
The top
Was it
100.
called All Stars?
The top 100 was the.
Mario Party Top 100 was like half of a Mario Party game because it was just the mini games.
It had one tiny crappy board.
Right.
But yeah, it was
This
just.
looks like this looks like a true to form like celebration of Mario Party with like classic boards as
Yeah.
well as games.
It was interesting that it's all from the 64 era.
I mean, I think a lot of people would argue that those are the best ones.
I think most people would argue the GameCube ones are the best, but I mean, it looks cool.
I was saying, yeah, it looks cool. Classic boards as well as classic games, mostly covering the 64 era.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I'm actually kind of excited about that. I think that'll be fun.
Because you've really only played Island Tour a very little bit, and then Super Mario Party.
Yeah, which that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Had some balancing issues, but it was fun.
Yeah, sorry, I am also eating pizza right now. I'll try to be quiet. Probably will be able to get it out of my recording, but I'm sorry for you.
So then, what else do they show? WarioWare Get It Together, which is it looks really interesting because I guess this is their method of replay value, adding additional replay value, is rather than just having like some random thing that you have to do, you're actually controlling an on-screen character to do that thing. And then they're like, it looks like from what they showed, each character has a different way of doing the minigame or the micro game.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to have a new WarioWare game. It's been so long. I don't count WarioWare Gold.
Yeah, it looks... I'm not sure. I want to be really excited for it, but on the other hand, something about it looks off that I can't really put my finger on. But I guess it'll really like come down to like how it feels to play.
Right. And then, of course, there was a small little game that they announced that I may or may not have freaked out over. Metroid Dread.
Why can't Metroid crawl? Now he can!
Yeah, it's... I don't even know where to
amazing.
start with this one.
So, Metroid Dread has been like something that the main guy, I don't remember his name.
Sakamoto.
Which I feel bad.
Yoshio Sakamoto is the...
Sakamoto. Okay. So this is something that he's wanted to make for a very long time.
Right.
But for like one reason or another, like the technology hasn't been around to do the idea that he has justice.
Which I'm assuming he means handheld technology.
Maybe. I would have thought like maybe like AI intelligence or something. I don't know. Because the primary thing with this is that there's a new enemy called Emmy, EMMI, that will, when it catches sight of Samus, will relentlessly pursue her. Kind of alien isolation style, I guess. You just have these like weird, like intelligent enemies like sniffing around for you.
Right. And there's multiple of them,
It
right?
looks very. What?
There's multiple of them, right?
Yes, lots of them. And it looks very, very intense. It's kind of like. Oh, it feels kind of like Fusion because it's a sequel to Fusion. Confirmed. So I'm pretty excited about that.
It was also interesting how he was saying that this was wrapping up the Metroid saga. Which, I mean, does that mean there's more coming after this?
That feels kind of like apparently like Kingdom Hearts 3 is like the end of the Xehanort saga.
Right.
And it's implied from that there are more Kingdom Hearts stories to tell.
There shouldn't be, but there are.
Shouldn't be, but like, you know, the door is open.
Right. Yeah, and in an interview, I think he had said
time for a new adventure.
Right. I believe in an interview afterward, he mentioned specifically that the future of the series would make more sense once you've finished Metroid Dread. So it does sound like it sets up for something. So hopefully we don't have to wait another 19 or 20 years to get it. I'm really hoping this one sells well.
Yeah, I really want to get. They announced a special edition where you get like the steel box,
Right.
game case. You get like I think you get like a couple posters or something.
You get some like art cards, I believe, and then like a mini.
Yeah, you
art
get
book.
art cards and you get like the actual art book.
Right.
Which I want so badly.
I know it's. I mean, it's going to be that plus then the amiibo. I'm just going to
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
I didn't see, what does the amiibo do?
oh, they haven't said, and to be honest, I don't care. If it doesn't do anything, I'd be fine. I just want the figures.
As long as it doesn't like, as long as it doesn't offer like some sort of like game altering
Like it did last time
sort of bonus.
in Samus Returns.
What did it give you in Samus Returns? I don't
The
remember.
the hardest difficulty was locked behind the amiibo. Like the fusion mode, I
Oh, that
believe
sucks.
was what it was called. Yeah. And also the ability to scan for Metroids. So if you needed help on where to go next, you'd have to like walk over to your shelf and tap the amiibo, and then it would tell you. Which just seems like a weird like accessibility feature that should not have been gated behind amiibo, because I never used it. But I have a feeling that other people would have wanted to use it. Especially newcomers who wouldn't be buying the amiibo day one.
Right.
So, yeah, hopefully they've learned their lesson with this one. But
Yeah. I'm really excited. I love the way this enemy moves around. Like it looks like it doesn't like use any like it doesn't like it doesn't play unfairly to get to you. Like it seems like it can only traverse like the same paths that Samus can.
right.
Like there are some areas that like it can't fit into. So like you can find spots to hide from. But otherwise like this feels really good, very very intense. I'm really excited. I'm excited for like a proper Metroid game.
Right.
It's been too long. A new Metroid game.
Yeah, one that's not a remake. Yeah, and I think I mentioned this via message, but the movement looks so fluid in this because you have a new slide maneuver, and it also looks like you can kind of chain the counterattack into like a rapid blast right after it, rather than kind of like breaking the action to counter. So it looks like they took a lot of the feedback And I enjoy the counter system, but it looks like they've really tightened it up, made it a lot faster. The movement just looks so smooth.
You can also like counter enemies when you run into them,
Right.
which is really cool. So like you don't have to be shooting at them. You could do a concentrated attack by like countering it just the right time.
Right. Yeah, because there were definitely times, especially early on in Samus Returns, where you'd kind of like jump up to a platform, wait for the enemy to do its thing, and then counter it. Whereas this looks like you can kind of just you can counter as you're still continuing to your destination without really having to slow down. So, yeah, I'm so excited. And it's coming out this October, which is even more exciting.
Yeah, 2 days after my birthday. So birthday present.
Well, that's cool.
Thanks, Nintendo.
They have a coworker. It's like coming out on his birthday, so
There's something else. I can't remember what. There's something else that comes out like on October 5th. The day before my birthday. So I think that was another thing that I was excited for, but I can't remember what it is.
I guess it wasn't all that exciting.
I guess not.
I don't know where to go from that. Did you see the most exciting announcement? The Guardians of the Galaxy cloud version? No comments?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
My bad. Internet broke up. No. Yeah, I think I must have like gone into a coma or something during this because I don't remember it at all.
Well, they just showed footage from like basically the PC version of the game, and I was like, this is not running on Switch. Like, there's no way. But there's only like, they never said it was a cloud version. It was just like in tiny print at the bottom. It was like visuals based on the strength of your internet connection or something. I was like, it wasn't until I rewatched it. I was like how is that game going to run on Switch?
Oh no.
So yeah, I should have known. Another cloud game. I don't like the idea of it. Just considering that, like,
well, it's a layer of abstraction between you and the things that you own.
Right.
You don't actually you already don't own anything that you buy digitally, which is a terrifying thing to think of in this day and age. But like having a cloud version of a game is like just a layer deeper, which is just like really upsetting and very sad.
Like, I don't know if it. I kind of feel like I would trust these less than Stadia almost. Like, because these aren't a platform even. These are just individual games. So it's like, it's just like a faceless company that runs the servers.
Yeah.
So who knows when. I mean, I don't trust Stadia at all, but I trust these even less.
Yeah, because who knows what's going to happen, like, if they just decide, like, we don't feel like supporting the Switch version of this game anymore. We're just going to take it offline.
Right.
And then, like, you don't have it anymore.
And I think they're still
That's
charging...
a whole different discussion.
Yeah. Actually, that was one of the... gaming preservation was one of the topics that I have for a future episode, but... yeah, it's just a little disturbing. And I think it's still full price. If there are any discount, it's only like $10 or something. But I think they get you in by giving you a free trial version, and then you have to pay after like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, in other words, Guardians of the Galaxy is not coming to Switch. Not really. Playable on Switch, yes, but not really coming to Switch. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
I'm excited about this.
I am too.
I'm actually excited for this.
I've only played the original, and I played Super Monkey Ball Adventure, and I played the 3DS one. I was initially a little confused at the trailer because they're like, celebrating 20 years, and then they show every game in the series. I was like, oh, is this a collection of every game? and then they briefly flash Super Monkey Ball 1, 2, and Deluxe. And I was like, oh, is it those games? Like, I was very confused. But yeah, it's the first 3 games remastered.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I really like the games. They're very very hard but very fun.
They're that good kind
and
of
having them all on the
infuriating.
Switch is like the perfect place, I think.
Yeah. Just the right kind of infuriating. I'm sure you're very excited about Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Shin Megami Tennessee.
V.
Yeah, I don't know. It's another JRPG.
Yep. That was about what I was expecting from you.
I think I did. I'll have to send you the thread, but I did like a series of live tweets as I was watching the direct.
Yeah.
So you could probably like from the timestamps like figure out what I was saying or like what I was watching, and I was like, oh wow, the new Nier Automata looks great. Or something like, wow, I didn't know Nier Automata was coming to the Switch. Because she was like running around the desert and fighting monsters and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't show too many JRPGs in this one, so.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
I feel like we've gotten enough of those.
I was like, please don't show us just JRPGs, and they were like, okay, this one
just
time.
this once. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. I'm personally kind of excited. I've never played the second one, but I played the first one and Dual Strike on the DS. And this is a really fun classic Nintendo series that Nintendo just kind of dropped. I mean, I feel like there's a few of those already, but
it's good to see them like kind of bringing this stuff back.
right. The question is, it's another grid-based tactical game. Are you interested in this one at all?
I am actually kind of interested in it. I've always kind of wanted to get into Advance Wars. It looks pretty simple to pick up, but it's probably like really really complicated as you get into it. One of those like easy to learn, difficult to master type deals.
Absolutely.
I like those things. Games like I think that's why I like Rabbids and why I'm interested in this and not so much Fire Emblem is because Fire Emblem is very technical. It's very complicated. Stuff like Mario and Rabbids and Advance Wars is like it's simple, but
yeah,
it is like the combination of these simple mechanics that makes it complex.
Yeah,
it's like it's easy to understand and to follow.
I still remember though your first experience with Fire Emblem, like the first level. You send a Pegasus Knight in who just gets insta-killed by an archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one of my better moments. I need to actually get my 3DS repaired because I had hacked it and I forgot that I had, and I tried updating it and it crashed.
Ooh.
So now I get like a crash dump log whenever I try and turn it on.
Ooh.
So I'll have to see what I can do about that. I'm sure there's something because I can still get into like the hack menus. So like if I can get some sort of like file onto the SD card, then I could probably restore it.
Okay. I was saying, I don't think you could send that back into Nintendo.
Yeah, probably not. Also, I got it used, so
Gotcha.
you know, I don't think they're gonna give me my $60 back.
So yeah, that was
It actually wasn't my $60, but that's a whole different story.
not gonna ask. So that was
Yeah, please don't.
You're only like piquing my curiosity, but I won't ask.
Maybe I'll tell you later.
So they ended the direct with kind of a bigger Zelda segment. They showed off the new Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, which looks really cool, being able to control a Guardian. I do wish it ran at higher than 12 frames per second, but...
Yeah,
Fingers crossed for Switch Pro.
I was like, I was like, here's our final announcement for the day, and they start talking about Hyrule Warriors DLC, and I was like, no, 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 this can't be it. No, there has to be more.
They knew what they were doing.
And I was thankfully correct. There was more. We got a little bit of a preview at what Breath of the Wild 2 looks like.
Yeah, so you sent me an interesting message.
Oh yeah, Skyward Sword 2. So it seems like a big mechanic is going to be like, I guess not necessarily a mechanic. There seem to be like larger chunks of land
Right.
floating around, and they're going to be able to kind of like ascend up to those and like fly between them and stuff. So kind of like Skyward Sword with all the floating islands.
Sans Bird.
Sans Bird. I was correct. Link does have arm powers. He does not have. It doesn't seem like he has the Sheikah Slate anymore. He does all that stuff through the power of magic arm.
Wearable technology.
Of what is it? Ultra Hand?
Yeah, the Ultra Hand. If that were a power,
This is a hit sequel to Ultra Hand. Grill off with Ultra Hand.
Now with floating islands. So yeah, what were your impressions of this game?
I'm excited. I really am excited to play it. I think it's just that like Metroid came before it, and I was more excited for that than I was for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I guess just like because it looks very similar to the first one, which I already really like, but like I have a pretty good idea of like what that game is like, what the sequel is going to be like, because I'm very familiar with the first one.
Right.
So like I'm not as like hyped. I'm very excited for it. I'm absolutely going to get it, and I can't wait to play it. But I think I'm more excited for Metroid because like up until now, we've had like nothing. We've had like the faintest rumors that like work was even being done on a 2D Metroid or like a game at all.
It had been leaked, so I did actually know, unfortunately, that it was going to be in the Direct. I didn't know anything about the game or that it was Dread, but unfortunately, yeah, I did have that leaked for me.
I managed to go in blind, and I was very surprised. I was freaking out, whooping and hollering.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how to like how to like put it. Like I am excited for Breath of the Wild, but I'm not like as excited as I was for the first one.
Gotcha.
I'm not like I don't feel the need to like scour YouTube for all the analysis videos. Like I'm kind of like I'm content to just sort of like wait for this to release and just experience it.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed by it, and I am excited. I know it's going to be a great game. I'll just start with that. But I was a little bit let down at the footage they showed. I kind of didn't expect it to look this early in development. And it to look so similar. Like, I kind of thought they would do something new with the overworld. Like, there'd be some kind of new threat that changed the way that the overworld looks. Like, this it looks cool, but it kind of looks like the bare minimum. And maybe that's just the trailer that they showed, but...
Okay, well, let me offer a counterpoint.
Okay.
Because leading up to the original Breath of the Wild, like they were like trickling out information about that. We didn't actually get to see any villages for a while leading up to the game. So like we had no idea like what like are there going to be settlements?
Right.
We had like very little information about this game. Are there going to be other people? Are you the only person in this world? And like I remember feeling like the world felt so empty until they showed off some of the towns, and suddenly it felt like it had so much more life into it. So it could just be that like we're not seeing everything yet. We haven't seen what this game has to offer.
Right, right.
It could be as we get closer to it, they're going to show us more about it, and we're going to have a clearer idea, and then it'll be exciting.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be the case. I'm just saying for now, like my hype levels have been lowered since seeing this. And to be honest, like I know COVID happened, obviously, and that it's not like they stopped developing the game at any point, but their productivity was probably lowered significantly. I feel like we could probably throw out a good 3 to 6 months of development time, just from all the setbacks. But it's like Breath of the Wild was kind of developed in 2 years. Like those last 2 years were actually on the game itself. Everything up to that was the engine, and the physics and everything. So it's like I kind of expected more difference for it being this many more years, considering it's the same engine, they're reusing the same assets, the same world is being reused. And the islands, again, like this is probably going to be fleshed out in later trailers, but the islands all kind of looked a little generic and samey. So, I'm not trying to be like Downer Dan about it, but I kind of walked away like I'm super hyped for Metroid, but I'm actually less excited now than I was with that teaser trailer. It also didn't seem as dark. Like I know they're still saying it's going to be super dark, but just seeing like the same enemies too.
Like I said, like I said, I think that we're gonna get more information similar to how we got it for the first game.
Yeah.
More stuff is gonna be made known, and we'll see. Maybe we'll see trailers that kind of focus more on the darker elements.
Right.
Because this was just kind of showing like here's stuff that's different from the first game. Like there's the talus with the platforms on it that has like goblins on it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It is.
I think that's really neat.
It's still bokoblins. That was kind of one of my other issues. Like I just saw bokoblins and moblins again. Like there's those couple new enemies, right? That like guardian thing on the island that looks cool, and there's that like underground thing that Link has like a flamethrower and burns.
Yeah.
But it's like, that was one of my biggest issues with the first Breath of the Wild was there were like 3 main enemy types that you just always encountered. So they have pointy horns on their heads now. That's new.
Ooh, they're evolving.
Yeah, and like it all looks cool. That's the thing. It all looks super cool. I guess it's just that my expectations with each passing month that we didn't see this game have just been continuing to climb. And like I'm not sure where all the development time went. Like even if you throw out like 3 to 6 months of development time for COVID.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm excited for like the stuff like the arm powers.
Yeah.
Stasis looks a little different. I don't know if it's just like the animations for it, or the effects or whatever. There's like a Rivali's Gale type move where you like phase through the bottom of an island and appear like surface on the top.
Yeah.
Like you're swimming through water. That's wild. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Flamethrower? What?
A flamethrower shield.
I think there's definitely gonna be a lot of fun stuff to do in this game. And I don't know. I don't remember what was the release date for that?
So that's
2022.
Well, that's what they're aiming for. That's what they said. I feel like there's a good chance this could still not make that. Just the way they were talking about it. Which is another reason why I'm like, I mean, this looks really cool, but it looks like a big expansion, like almost like a standalone expansion for Breath of the Wild. So I'm like, how is it taking this long? I don't know. Again, everything looked
I don't know.
cool. I just want to like I'm still excited for this game. I know I kind of always have like a downer segment where I'm like super negative, um,
That's good.
but yeah, I'm so excited. It just kind of looks like a big expansion for Breath of the Wild rather than the sequel. But yeah, here's hoping that the next trailer looks super cool, introduces a lot more mechanics, kind of shows off the mechanics in a better light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was pretty much Nintendo's E3.
Yeah. Oh, we missed the most important update of all, which is the Legend of Zelda Game and Watch.
Oh, that's right.
It's the most. It's the most attention that they've given Zelda 2
It is.
in a while since release. So I don't know. That's kind of fun. It's like the Mario one that they did.
Yeah.
Except this has more games on it, I guess.
It's kind of weird. Like I know the Game and Watch Zelda was a dual screen, but it's kind of weird that like I was talking with a coworker about this, but it's like it's kind of strange that they made a Zelda Game and Watch back in the day, and that this doesn't have it. You know, like it's cool. The stuff that's on there is cooler than the Zelda Game and Watch, but
Yeah.
just kind of an odd choice.
It's like a weird omission.
Yeah. And then
Like
Link's Awakening was
why would you make a Game and Watch and not include the Game and Watch?
right. Putting Link's Awakening on there was strange. Very cool. But,
Yeah, especially because they just did that for the Switch.
yeah.
But I don't know. That's pretty cool. I probably won't get one. It would be neat to have, but I don't want one so badly that I would go out of my way to try and get one.
Right. It's one of those things like I every month I look at my gaming budget and I'm like, I could buy that, but then I couldn't buy game X, you know?
Yeah.
So So do we want to move on from here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure what else. I stopped paying attention to E3 after Nintendo.
That was pretty much the end of
so
it. So
I don't know what else is.
I think that really was the last
Yeah.
presentation. So onto the gaming club. That's next week that we're going to be doing our full discussion. So
Yes, finally be ready to talk about ukulele.
I got to play it again. I'm so close to the end now.
I just I am as well. I need to get enough pages to unlock the fifth world.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
I just got the power that'll let me get there. So I'm actually kind of going back to previous worlds with that power.
And you were, I believe you were disappointed that you actually had to play the game to get all the powers from the main hub.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, because like, in order to get to other parts of the, I should save it. I should save
Yeah,
it.
sure. It was just a hilarious message that you sent me.
Yeah.
It's like to get all the power ups that you
it
wanted.
turns out you have to actually play the game.
Right. Okay, so moving on. Do you have a backlog game this week?
I do actually.
Okay. Cool. Let's hear it.
So I got it. I got it a while. I don't remember if I got it for free or if it was just crazy cheap. But I've had this game called Goner in my Switch library for a while. It's a 2D roguelike shoot 'em up type dealy. He plays this little guy with a skull. You get like these different guns and like backpack abilities, and you are, I don't really know what the story is. The art style is really really cool.
I think I've seen screenshots of it.
Yeah, it looks really good in motion. You can like defeat enemies by jumping on them or by shooting them. It's, I don't know, not much to really say about it. It's got a really good sound to it, really good feel.
And this was one of
It's
the.
one of those games where
Oh, sorry.
it's one of those games that like has mechanics to it that like it doesn't explain to you, that you kind of figure out for yourself. Like you could do a double jump, and it's like not a very good one,
Hmm.
but you can hold up to jump higher, or you can hold down to fall faster.
Huh.
But it never explains this to you.
I f-
So like you figure this out, and you're like, ah, okay, well, that's another tool for my arsenal.
It seems like it'd work well,
And-
much better for a roguelike. Like I think that'd be irritating in a like story-driven game, but that's actually kind of cool to have in a roguelike.
Yeah, it's really good. I wanna try to complete it before I get the second one, which is I think regularly on sale for like 10% off.
So it's a
Um,
roguelite. It actually has an end.
Yeah, roguelite.
Okay.
I assume so. Like there's like seems to be like a progression of areas that you go through. Like you start off with the caves, and then you get to like the desert or something. I don't remember how it goes.
Okay.
The theming is like you're in the world of the undead. And so like every time you die, you go back to death. And he'll like, as you discover new items, like you get to start your run with those items. So like you get different heads, like your standard head, gives you these are like skulls.
Right.
I keep saying heads. You get these different skulls that have different attributes about them. So like your standard one has 5 hits. Anytime you take damage, your skull falls off, and you have to pick it up again before you take damage again. Otherwise, you die. So it's kind of like Sonic health,
Okay.
except you only have the one ring to pick up.
That's actually pretty cool, though. I like that idea.
Yeah, yeah. One of the ones that I have is like it's called, I think it's like the brick skull. It's just like it's shaped like a brick, but it doesn't fall off, and you hold on to your items whenever you take damage. But you can only take 3 hits.
Okay.
There's one that has like does a chompy mouth on the top, so like whenever you jump up at an enemy, it will attack them. There's one that lets you levitate after a jump, and you can just like hold down the jump button, and you'll just slowly fall down,
Huh.
which is really handy.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of variety, especially with
Yeah, it's
with the brick head. I feel like that would change up quite a bit run to run.
yeah, yeah. It's you can like really kind of mix and match your preferred play style.
Okay.
And it's really fun. I'm not very good at it. I haven't gotten very far. I've only gotten to like the first boss.
Oh, okay.
But it's really fun. It's really easy. It's a hard game, but it's easy to play.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I was like, at first I was like, wait, what? You just said you weren't good at it. Yeah, it sounds cool. I'm actually not the biggest fan usually of roguelites, but this sounds more like something I would enjoy than most.
Yeah, I would give it a look. If you can.
Yeah, I know it's on sale
If you
quite
haven't.
frequently.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the second game. I'm very eager to try it out, but like I said, I want to finish the first one
Okay,
before I dip into the second.
well, that's cool.
What about you?
So I picked up this. I guess this was actually teased in the last episode because I used footage from it. I just happened to pick up a copy of Ninja Gaiden 2: The Dark Sword of Chaos, and I now have. I bought a Retron HD because I'm just tired of dealing with the original NES hardware. So I kind of been binging NES games this week, and this was one I'd never gotten a chance to play before. So it's. I know you don't like the first one, and I'm not. I get it. It's a very frustrating game, and I probably shouldn't.
Because I had a rewind function.
Yeah, it's obnoxiously hard, especially with the knockback. Most of your deaths wind up being that you fell into a like insta-death pit, rather than like because you have a pretty big health bar, but you know most of the tricky jumps have enemies that just infinitely respawn. So, if anything, Ninja Gaiden 2 is harder than the first game. I've gotten to the final boss, the second stage of the final boss in the first game, and I've never been able to beat it. In this one, there are 7 acts instead of 6, and I can't get past the third one. So it introduces new and horrible level mechanics like wind, where you have to time your jumps based on random wind changes. And then there's also a stage where basically you can only see the platforms when there's a lightning bolt in the background. But it still has all of the incredibly difficult and annoying enemy placement. So, but I don't know. There's just something about the movement. I think it's something similar to Sonic, where like if you start getting that flow to the level, it's just super addictive.
Yeah.
There's just something about the NES Ninja Gaiden games that's weirdly fun, even though I feel like throwing my controller across the room every once in a while.
You know, I heard that there's a nifty game that took inspiration from stuff like that, that actually ended up being pretty good. Have you heard of Shovel Knight?
I have, actually.
No, that sounds. I want to say that sounds pretty cool, but it actually sounds pretty bad.
If anything, the knockback is almost worse in this game. It's definitely more aggressive, so... and there's a lot more platforms to fall off of. But I still weirdly enjoy it. Like, I've already played it about 5 different times now, and I've still not been able to get past the third act. The boss of that stage is just near impossible. And I tried to beat it. I tried to get to the 4th act last night, and I probably put 45 minutes into one half of a level. So I'm kind of committed, but I don't know where to go with this game. It's not well designed. It's incredibly frustrating, but I weirdly love it. So
Yeah, well, that's you and me and Earthworm Jim 3D.
oh, you can climb walls now. That's a new feature. Before you just kind of had to like do this weird glitchy.
You just got stuck on them.
Yeah, like you could jump off and immediately push back, and you could gain like 3 pixels up. And that was your only way to climb walls. But now you can actually freely climb up them. So there are better movement options like that. Okay. You can do like a little back jump thing. But then there's also a lot of new enemies they introduced that are below your sword strike range. So you have to constantly stop and duck to kill them. So it's like for every good thing that this game introduces, there's like 2 or 3 more annoying things they layer on top. But I still weirdly enjoyed it. I can't explain fully why.
Well, you know, as long as you're having fun.
There's just something about raging at a good bad game.
Yeah. Well, how does it look? Because that could play into how you feel about something. How is it visually?
It looks identical to the first game.
Okay, well then. Who can really say?
Like, the Ryu sprite is the exact same one. And there's a lot of enemies that they've just kind of reskinned. They're still random, but like instead of football players, there's like Jason Voorhees that chase you.
Oh, wow.
And there's a bunch of new frustrating enemies. Like there's one that has a shield and is basically invincible unless he throws his like fire boomerang. But then you have like a split second to jump over him, dodge the fire boomerang, and then slice him in the back. So
like a real ninja.
Exactly. So yeah, it's definitely one of those like pattern memorization games.
Not fun.
I enjoyed those, but I think it's because I grew up with those.
That's fair.
It's probably the only reason.
Tell me about the restaurant. How's that?
It seems to be working pretty well. Some of my games are pretty old, and I got them from a yard sale, so they're dirty. And I've cleaned off the contacts, and now they work. Yeah, it's not like super impressive, but it's a working NES that allows you to play your NES games on an HD TV. So that's nice. It also has composite output as well, so you can still play it on an old CRT if you wanted.
That's cool.
And it was only like $40.
How does the picture look on HD?
It looks pretty clean. It doesn't look. It's a little smudgier than like the pixel perfect mode from emulators, but it's also much cleaner looking than playing it on a CRT. So I think it's honestly I think it's a pretty good middle ground between the two. Like the
Okay.
pixels are more defined, but they're not as like sharp as an emulator.
Right, right.
If you go back and watch our last episode, I have footage. Everything I shot was from the Retron.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I wish I could send you some footage of Goner.
Yeah, I kind of thought like maybe, I don't know, as we hopefully increase production value, that I could start putting footage from the games we're talking about so people know what it is that we're talking about and not just having to describe everything. But
Yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about getting one of those capture cards. Start recording stuff to just for the heck of
that's
it.
cool.
Maybe start streaming some games.
They've gotten more expensive, or at least the Elgato ones have. But I don't know. There might be better options now. That was the best option I had in
dig around.
2015, but
I'll dig around. I'm sure I'll find something.
yeah. So yeah, that was our show for this week.
Wow.
It's gonna be a lot of editing for me to do.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean most of it's Discord, so
Ah.
it decided in these last like 30 minutes to just be okay now.
Well, take what you can get.
Definitely will.
Alrighty. Well, I guess next week we're going to talk about ukulele. That's probably going to be
So exciting.
the meat of our recording. So I'm looking forward to that because I certainly
I
have
am too.
a lot of things to say about this game, good and bad.
As do I. And at some
Alrighty.
point, you'll definitely have to play The Impossible Lair. The
I
just
did.
significantly better sequel.
I got it when I got Rabbids.
Did you?
'Cause it was also on sale. So
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I'm really gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get 2 games.
Well, you picked 2 very, very good games, and I can't
think
wait to
that I
hear your
did.
opinion on Impossible Lair.
Yeah, well, I've played the demo for it, and I really really liked it. So like I already have an idea of what I'm getting into. It's very good.
Okay. All right, so yeah, ukulele discussion next week.
Yeah. And then we'll have to figure out what our next game is gonna be.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'll have it by then, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope that you are having a good time. I hope that you're safe and happy, and we will see you next week for more talk.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.